Hey everyone, Livy here, back with another video. As you can see, I am in a different location today. I'm in I'm in my room on my bed. Only place right now I can really film. And today I'm going to do the tarot tag 13 real tarot questions. It's a VR to Mary Grace. Now I don't know how to pronounce her last name correctly, but you guys will see it in the title of the video, but Mary Grace, okay? Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did try to film this video once, and two things about that original video. The first was that I was very delirious during that video. It was like the middle of the day, and somehow I think I had lost all my brain cells, so I don't think I was very coherent. And number two with that is, also during that video, I found myself being very, very salty for some reason. And I think that reason was because when I heard real tarot questions, as if any other tarot tag and thing isn't before this was not valid, it kind of made me salty. And, I didn't know what to think about it. So when I was answering the questions, I was slightly salty about them. Now, I don't think that Mary Grace was trying to be... I don't think she was trying to be inflammatory with them. By the way, this is the Cosmovisions Oracle. I'm just going to flip through this right now as I answer these questions. I don't think she was necessarily trying to be inflammatory with calling it real tarot questions, but if she was, then I don't know how I feel about that. And maybe it did its job of making me annoyed. But this tag is really about getting to the heart of you as a tarot reader. Okay, it's not meant to suggest that someone is not a real tarot reader or not. This is just to ask you personally how you interpret the cards and what do you do when you have the cards. So yeah, let's get into it. But yeah, this is the Cosmovisions. I'm just going to have this out. I love the edging. I'm going to have this out so that you guys have something to look at as I answer these. Because again, you guys know I don't show my face. So besides my little thumb, avatar, that's the only thing that shows my face. Anyways, let's get into it. Question number 1 is, what is tarot to me? Tarot to me is, well, funny as I say tarot, as I'm using an oracle to do this. But anyways, tarot to me is a tool. It is a way to figure out meaning from parts of the world that are sometimes, nonsensical. And need answers that others cannot give you in a specific time. So for me, I see tarot as a tool, but it is also just a way to figure out one's place within the universe. Do I want to? I'll fix it. Tarot can be so many things. It can also be a way to relieve anxiety for those like me who sometimes have issues with overthinking. In that way, tarot can be very objective and it can give you what you need without... Sometimes it does give you more questions than answers, but a lot of the times it's there to clarify. And once it clarifies, then you can kind of, move on and not have to worry about it anymore. So tarot can be, in my opinion, it can be many things. Some even use tarot to meditate. But at the end of the day, it is a tool. It is a way of divining, of figuring out what needs to be said or what is hidden in many ways. Question number 2 says, do you read for yourself or for others or both? And for me, it is both. I read for myself and I read for others. I do read more for myself than I do for others, but I do both things. Question number 3, with what frequency do you read tarot for yourself? And the truth of that matter is at least once a week, if not more, I'm reading tarot. And Oracle, on the other hand, in more recent times, because this didn't used to be a case. Oracle, on the other hand, I read either daily or every other day. It just depends on if I have time in the morning to quickly pull a message of something to deepen what my week ahead spread was, before I have to get to work. But yeah, those are the most typical. Sometimes I do dive deeper. I do bigger spreads. I do, certain things when I need a question answered, but I don't always have time for that, so I don't always do it. But anyways, now here's the thing. I said this even the first time I was filming this. I feel like questions 4, 5, and 7, there we go, 7, kind of need to be fused all into one question because I don't understand why they're separate. So I'm going to fuse them all together. 4 asks, what types of readings do I do? 5 says, regarding what types of things do you consult tarot for? And 7 is, what types of questions do you ask tarot? I think those are all related, so I'm putting them all together into one thing. Typically, I do anything when it comes to tarot. Almost anything, actually, because question 8 is a different thing. Typically, when I do tarot, I am asking questions of things that I basically need answered, and that could be literally anything. So what kinds of readings? Literally any. What types of things do I consult tarot for? Almost anything. And what types of questions do I ask tarot? Literally anything that comes to mind. Literally anything. Question, I think it's related. I'm going backwards and forwards. Sorry about that. It's going to be very confusing, but all the questions will be down below in the description box if you want the separate questions for yourself, if you so want to do this tag. Also, question number 8 though asks, what kinds of questions would you never ask tarot? And what do I think of my only limits when it comes to trying to do a reading is I personally, and again, this is just me, I personally feel weird in some kind of way about trying to get... I think my only limit is I wouldn't want to do readings for somebody else related to their own physical health. And I personally don't know how I feel about doing readings concerning people's finances. And the reason why for both of those, why I wouldn't really want to do financial or physical health related readings is because, well, 1, I'm not a doctor, and 2, I'm not your accountant. So I think both of those things can change drastically, right? I don't think that tarot can 100% predict that effectively because they are ever changing. It's just like the weather, right? One day you could be physically feeling perfectly fine. The next day you could have a fucking cold, like me kind of right now, right? I don't know if tarot can always predict that accurately. And in a way, that's not going to also, by the way, if you're reading for other people, scaring them off to what you are interpreting. And the same with financials is I just don't feel comfortable with the idea of telling people what they should do with their money, because everyone has different ideas of how they want to spend or save their money. And I don't think I have the right to tell them to do a different kind of thing. Does that make sense? So that's my only limit with tarot, is that I wouldn't ask questions about physical health or... Well, let me explain. With the physical health, I wouldn't ask questions that are trying to see, are you going to be cured of cancer? That's I don't know how I feel. But, yeah. But, the only other thing I would never ask tarot about, I personally do not like to do readings for people who are trying to find out information about myself without just directly asking me. Like, come on, just ask me. You don't have to get me to do a reading for you where you're trying to find shit out about me. Like, say it to my face. Anyways, that was 4, 5, 7, 8. Now I can backtrack and go to question number 6. How would I classify yourself? How would you classify yourself as a tarot reader? Now, the IE attached to this kind of confused me. I'm not going to lie. I was initially very confused, and maybe that's also why I was salty. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't quite know what Mary Grace means when she, besides saying book meanings, I don't know what she means by experiential, figurative, literal kind of readings. That's not usually what I see attributed to tarot readings. So I'm going to try to answer this. How do I classify myself in a different way? Okay. I do believe in eventually learning more of the tarot, like meanings, like the book meanings of things, but I don't think it's an end all be all. But I do think when it comes to me, when I read, I do first examine what it traditionally means by my preferred system, which is RWS. So I will look at a card, see, oh, okay, well, typically this card means XYZ thing in this reading, and then I expand, right? In this reading, it can mean this other thing because of this. And I'll expand from there. So I'll use intuition to expand. I will use first the meanings, then intuition. I will pull in elements for sure too, because I feel like people are able to understand when you base it off the elements. Just my opinion, but I think most people have some general knowledge of elemental energy. Also, I tend to be somebody who pulls in stories, mythology, literature, history of the world. Like, I make analogies to things that I think other people will understand in relation to that card. And yeah, and then try to give my best interpretation based on that. So that's how I read. How do I classify myself? By all those things, I guess. Again, I'm not, I guess my point is I don't like to put a limit on what kind of tarot reader I am. I think you just need to understand that I read the cards, you know? Yeah. Anyways, question number 9 asks, who do you think you are engaging with or speaking with when you read tarot? And that is very dicey for me. Some people might have a clear answer. Maybe some people believe they're working with God or a specific deity or some other force of the universe. And to be honest, I don't like to put a label on that. I think when I read tarot, though, I do think that what's responding back to me is some kind of force that is somewhere. I don't know how to explain this. It's like, I believe in science. Okay, I do. So I think that what responds to tarot is the things that science does not have an answer to. It is some other liminal energy. I don't know if you would say, like some people believe, like it could be dark matter and things related to that nature. Maybe it is. I think something is listening, but I don't know what I would label it as. And I think it would be reductive to put a label to it, if that makes sense. I don't know. It's something. Something is paying attention, and I don't know, but I'm figuring out what it is, and I try not to think too hard about it. All I know is that it's given me the answers I need, so is what it is. But anyways, Oh, oh, wait a second. I feel like I already answered this. Whoops. I kind of combined 6 and 10 together. My bad. But question number 10 is, what other knowledge experience do you apply to tarot readings? And I think I kind of already answered this. I do infuse elements. I do infuse mythology. I do infuse natural storytelling and other things in. I do infuse history, just like general history knowledge. I'm not someone who likes to add religion to my tarot readings. I'm too inexperienced to add astrology. And even, I mean, tarot has taught me more about numerology, but I would not feel comfortable with like just using numerology to explain something in a reading, you know? So I guess I could say also some psychology too, like, yeah. So yeah, I think I already answered that. So I'm going to move on now to question number 11. 11 says, tarot is the book of life. Book of life. It's actually in like quotation marks. So where else in the world or your life do you witness tarot? And I'm going to be honest here, tarot isn't everything. Whether it's intentional or not, tarot isn't everything. Because tarot, a lot of tarot, I guess I incorporate archetypes too, but tarot is a series of archetypes and situations that people have to deal with every single day. The cards, as interesting as it is, the cards a lot of times, right, have almost every single life situation that someone would think would come to pass is mentioned in some way, shape, or form. It's not 100% complete, I would say, but it can be, and it's in everything. Even if you don't think so, like, it's talking about things that could either challenge you, inspire you. It's everywhere. I don't know how else to explain that further, but it is, right? Like, I'm trying to shove this in and it's like fighting me. Anyways, I see tarot in everything. I don't think there is a specific moment where I was like, well, yeah, obviously, if someone's like mentioning tarot, where do you see tarot in your life? In a cult bookstore, or not cult, a metaphysical bookstore, regular bookstores, you could say, oh, I see that there. Like, literally, there's a tarot decks there. But like, if you're talking about just everyday everything, then tarot is just in all things. It is true. There's no way to really avoid some of these archetypes, right? And what I mean by that is, I guess I can show it with these cards, okay? Right? 6 of Coins. There is a time where you need to share and be generous with other people. That just comes with living with people or going to work, or when you're in school especially, you need to learn how to share. Sometimes there are mysterious moments in your life that you don't 100% understand, and sometimes you have to be accepting the fact that you will not understand them. Sometimes you feel like Atlas taking on the whole world, and it feels like things will never get better for you. Right? Sometimes you have to be the queen of your own finances, to be that boss, to put that energy out into the world, right? This is literally everything. I don't understand how you could separate it, right? These are all things that show up in real life, and tarot covers them. So tarot is everything, yes. And I see it in literally anything. You can make any connection. So, yeah. Question number 12 asks, have you experienced where tarot has correctly predicted the future, and how did you feel when it came to pass? Basically, have you had those moments ever, right? In relation to tarot? My answer to that is, how do I explain this? I think I have had, well, see, but even to all things, even tarot, you have to understand that nothing, in my opinion, nothing is always going to be 100% correct. But you could be like 95% correct, and in that way say it correctly came to pass, right? I think it can tell you slivers of a thing. So I've had moments where if the cards have basically told me I was going to have a bad day, and I did have a bad day. Is it specific on to what exactly I would have had a bad day on? No, because I don't think tarot can always 100% do that for you. That's just my opinion. But how did I feel when those moments come to pass? Well, obviously, if the cards are telling you you're going to have a bad day, well, then you're fucking feel like shit. You're just like, okay, cool. I haven't tried to be specific enough with tarot where I was fishing for a specific answer to a specific thing to say, did it correctly predict the future for me? You know, I think it gave me a mostly correct reading. So that's the way that I take it. Yeah. But it doesn't always feel great. Sometimes you can be weirded out, and you just gotta, gotta get along with it. Try your best. Try not to take it too personally when those things happen, I guess. Anyways, next up. Oh, actually, whoops, this is the last question. Question number 13. Question number 13 asks, if you are a witch or magical practitioner, how, if applicable, does tarot fit into your magical practice? Now, here's the thing. I don't really know how to answer this because I don't 100% consider myself a witch. So there's things, I guess, magically, right, that I guess you could say I do. And tarot is just a way to answer those questions. But it's not, I don't know. I have very mixed thoughts. I joke about calling myself a kitchen witch all the time, though. So in some ways, I guess I believe that. But it just helps answer questions I have related to those things. But I don't know if I have a set practice in that way or not. Just being honest. Tarot is the biggest part of my practice. Yeah. Besides, like, creative endeavors and kitchen stuff and tarot being a tool to help me with those things, it really just helps me sort myself out in the way of the world. So yeah, I don't know how to answer that question. So I guess that's it for this video. This is much shorter, I think, than my original video, which is probably for the best. Because again, that video was me being like very confused and salty when I didn't need to be. I don't think I needed to be. But if you watched for this long, new or old, thank you so much for watching. And I will see you all again next time. Bye.